What's up, guys? Real quick, I'm putting up a video. I just saw Real Radman's gameplay video at Daytona, so I'm going to talk a bit about what I think of it. And, I'm judging these videos as they come out or whatever information 704 releases as it comes. So I could be really excited about something that I just saw, but if I see something later on that is a concern, I'll be concerned. And this is what I've said in past videos. So I know a lot of people are thinking, man, you've been really high on this game coming out this year and really high on everything you've seen so far. Yes, because there's a lot to be excited about. However, I've always said, if I spot something that is a concern, I will talk about it. And yes, I spotted a couple of things that really do concern me. I'm not panicking, and I'm not saying that, I've changed everything. This changes everything about my outlook on the game. It doesn't. But if there's something there that is a concern, I'm going to talk about it. So the first thing is going to be the most obvious, right? I'm going to put the link to the video in the description box. If I don't mess that up, you'll get the link. But you check out the video, and then the obvious thing everyone's going to notice is the speeds. The speeds are way too fast. They're not realistic. The lap times are a little too low, and the speeds are too high. At one point, he actually hit 215 going down the backstretch in mid-pack. So that's not good. I'm not that concerned about that area of it because I don't think it affects the overall experience as much as other people might think. But they do need to address it, and they do need to hone that in just a bit. So that's the obvious thing. But then there's the other things as you watch the race that I want you to notice. And it concerns the AI. Before I get to that, the physics, those of you who have physics as your top priority, I think that you should be very excited. Everything we've seen so far this year, it looks good. The physics really look like they pretty much eliminated all the big issues, and you have tons of adjustability. So we've seen in this gameplay video that Real Radman got into other cars on purpose, and there was no ping pong. You could rub in his racing, and now you could actually do that without fear that it's gonna ruin your race. So that's a big positive. And of course, everything else that we've already gone over that I don't need to keep rehashing about the graphics and the sound. Fantastic. But here's the thing, right? The thing that stuck out the most to me that is a concern is the AI. Now, I like the stability with the AI, right? You didn't see crazy moves or the type of things that could cause game-breaking situations in the past. But it looked too easy. He set the game at the highest difficulty, and he wasn't even using a custom setup, and it looked really easy, and he was using a hand controller. He didn't have any advantage, and this was, according to him, his first time playing the game. So it was really easy, and he didn't really get into it or talk in detail about it. It looked like he just wanted to do the gameplay video, put it up, and move on. And I'm sure that later on he'll talk about it. But I'm talking about it now because I just saw it. And you can't ignore that. It's a big concern. Now, we saw Fabiano's video, and that was also a concern. But it did seem like the settings didn't take, or there were issues with, it wasn't at 105, right? So I accept that. But here we are. This was set at 105, and it wasn't using a custom setup. It looked way too easy. That's a huge concern. Now, if you've watched me for any length of time, you're gonna know that the type of things that I've had at the top of my list uh, with these games in terms of importance, things that need to be addressed, are the AI. That's pretty much at the top, and then there are other things. But I'm not talking about off-track stuff right now. I'm talking about the actual racing, the gameplay. AI is pretty much at the top of my list, and always has been. And a lot of other guys really focus on physics. And yeah, the physics did need to be addressed, and I'm glad they did, and it does look like a huge improvement. But I've always said that, in my opinion, when it comes to the racing, offline, against AI, the AI for me was the most important thing, because even if the handling wasn't as great as it should be, or closer to realism, if the AI provides competitive, uh, good all around racing, how the AI races each other and how they race you, that is the what has the biggest impact on your enjoyment of the racing. And I've always said that. So if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I'm not lying to you. I talk a lot more about the AI and other things than I ever did about physics. So yeah, physics is very important, and it does seem to have been addressed. But you know, the biggest issues that we've had in terms of the actual gameplay from not last year but previous years, right? Going back to even Eutechnics, was that the AI was too easy. Even at the highest settings, you were passing a lot of cars each lap. It was too easy. If you're new to the channel, you're just taking my word for it. But longtime viewers, they know going back that I've always talked about these things, right? And to 704's credit, the past two games, NASCAR Heat 2 and 3, they did elevate the competitiveness, and that made a huge difference. And I don't want to panic. And like I said, we don't have enough information yet. But so far, the gameplay footage we've seen, it looks easy. The closing rate between your car, and the AI is a little too fast. Um, it just feels like you have way more power, and it's easy to get to the front and win. This was his first time playing. I expected a lot more challenge. So that is a huge concern right now. But when I say concern, I'm not panicking. I'm taking into account that, yeah, we haven't seen everything yet. Maybe there's factors here that we're not privy to or aware of. And I think that if there is an issue, that this is something that 704 should be able to address, either before the game is released or through an early day one patch. I don't want to get ahead of myself. And again, almost everything I've seen I love. Uh, I just, everything feels really grounded and more, less arcadey. So it's all really good stuff. And yes, the physics, they look great from what we can see. But I think this is proving why I've placed emphasis on other things um, that I think are more important. And I think that it doesn't really matter how great the physics are. If it's too easy to catch and pass these cars, you're not going to have any sense of accomplishment. It's just not going to be fun. So I hope 704 is aware of this and they really look into it, because even last year, right, there were tracks that were really easy compared to others. So yes, they've come a long way. They've made the games much more competitive as they've moved up, but they did a lot of work to this game this year, and it's most of it is really fantastic looking. But we can't ignore this. It don't look good, in terms of competitiveness. His final speed rating was 104. Again, he wasn't using a custom setup. He was using a hand controller, and this was his first time on the game. So how can I not be concerned about that? So I have faith in these guys. When they work on things, they do make them better. That's what I've seen. So I don't want to panic. I don't want to get people all riled up. Just saying, this is a red flag. Something that needs to be addressed. And perhaps Real Radman on his next video might talk more about it, give us more detail, or even Fabiano when he releases more gameplay, he could talk a little bit more about these things. Another thing that I want to see that we really haven't seen yet is green flag pit stops. I want to see some green flag pit stop, go through a whole cycle without caution. I just want to see how everything works out. I want to see a smooth cycle. A lot of times with NASCAR Heat 3, even when you went through a clean green flag pit cycle, a lot of times a caution would come out right in the middle of the green flag. It's like the AI couldn't handle the entire field going through the pit cycle without some kind of wreck somewhere. And I just want to see how everything works out. That's something we haven't really seen. So really, right now, those are just my initial concerns. But the the fact that I don't see a lot of competitiveness, that's a big deal. That can make or break the game. No matter how nice everything else is, if it's too easy, you're not going to have a good time. And again, there's no custom setups yet. This is just jumping in the game. So, that is a concern. That's all I got to say about it right now. I want to know what you guys think, and hopefully we get more gameplay, more information this week. And if we do, I'll do another video. But right now, this is what we got today, and those are my thoughts on it. So I look forward to your comments later.